guys, welcome to part 3 of the Vaginismus series. Today I'm going to be talking to you about some of the treatments and tips for this disorder. So some of them are treatments that are sort of recommended by GPs and health practitioners, and some of them are tips that I personally have found helpful and useful, so hopefully you will too. So I'll start by talking about psychosexual therapy. So this is a type of therapy where they work with you around relationships and any unhelpful thoughts that you might have about sex, and they sort of work to get to the bottom of what might be causing the problem. So whether it is, like we talked about last episode, unhelpful thoughts, whether it's past trauma, abuse, that kind of thing, and then they'll tailor your therapy around all of that. Another treatment that's recommended, and this is usually recommended by doctors but also the psychosexual therapist, is the use of dilators. So I've got some of these to show you. So they start off in super small sizes. So these basically, you insert these into the vagina and you're supposed to just sort of leave it there a minute and work on your muscles, so like consciously untensing and then maybe tense to sort of notice that you are tensing. So it's about allowing that muscle to relax whilst having something up there and getting used to that sensation. And then they say to progress to like twisting this round, so a bit of movement. Or if you especially struggle with the actual penetration, like to leave it sat on the outside of the vagina for a moment, just to get used to that fear, to get you used to not clamping up as soon as something's there. So basically these come in different sizes, so you're supposed to progress to the largest size, which I'll show you in a minute, which personally I've took that size out of this because I find it quite intimidating, but I'll show you that. So basically, once you've got comfortable with one size and there's no pain, you move on to the next. So that's the first size. This size won't attach onto that for some reason, but there's the next size. So that's probably more like a tampon size, I would say. Whereas this is like the width of a little finger. I don't know how much you can tell on the camera really. And then this is the next size up. And then this one, this is the point where I find them pretty intimidating. So that one. And then the big one that I decided to take out of the pack, and even the therapist said I should take it out of the pack to stop intimidating myself with it, is this. So if you do struggle, you'll find that pretty intimidating. So, like I did, take it out of the pack, ignore that one for now. When you're on this point, you don't need to be staring at that one, you don't need to be thinking about that one. So now I'm going to move more on to the tips that I found helpful and also that have been suggested by others around this. So one of the first things to remember is to be honest and open with your partner. So don't just pretend that you're not going through this and hope it'll go away. You need to work on this together so you can both build an understanding of this, and so that they know to be patient with you and they know what to expect. They know that you're not just going to go and have wild sex with them, be all over the bedroom, because it's not going to be like that. Another tip is relaxation techniques. So whatever you can do to relax yourself beforehand, whether it's having a nice bath, whether it's massage, just remembering your breathing as well. So when people first said these things to me, I tried them. They didn't necessarily work, but it's when you're further into the process. These are just add-ons to other treatments. Obviously, this probably won't work on its own if you've got the proper, vaginismus. But basically, it's just going to help. Of course, being relaxed will help. Another tip is to make sure you're properly turned on. So you don't want to be trying to have penetrative sex before quite an amount of foreplay with this disorder, because it's just going to be painful. You need to build up to that slowly. So again, that's where your patience comes into it. Something that I found helpful personally is the certain types of condoms and lubricant that you use. So it's better to rule out things that could be making it worse. So if you usually use latex condoms, try with non-latex, it might help. If you can use any other contraceptive to maybe, so that you wouldn't have to use condoms if you're with a partner, obviously it's important to use them if it's someone that you don't really know and not in a long-term relationship, because contraceptives don't take away the risk of STIs. In terms of lubricants, I found that with this burning pain that I get during sex, it was often made worse by certain lubricants. So certain brands that have like flavoured lubricants or aloe vera, try and stay away from those if you can. So I tried different ones from the sex therapist and found that it was still sort of burning my skin. So I have moved on to coconut oil. So it's basically, you just buy it from the supermarket. It's very cheap. It's cheaper than other lubricants, obviously, because it's not purposely for that. But it's organic, so it hasn't got anything in that's going to harm the skin. It comes as a solid, as you can see, but it melts really quickly as soon as it's on your hand. It's just melted. So it's a bit messy though, because obviously normal lubricant does dry, but that's another problem I found with lubricants. They dry too easily, so then you've just got that friction again. But this doesn't dry, it stays oily, so just make sure you put a towel down. That's all I can suggest. But yeah, it's definitely worth a try. I've also found, I don't know if it's linked to vaginismus, because I have done a bit of research on it, and it does seem to be that the two are very close, but vulvodynia is sort of a another condition that you can get, and it's more of a skin condition. So it's when you get sore down there, red, burning sensations, and all over, not just during sex, all the time, basically. So I have this as well, and I don't exactly know what flares it up. It's sort of like similar to eczemas, where they have triggers, but it's really hard to know what the triggers are. So if you're suffering from this as well, obviously that is not going to help sex to not be painful. So I've moved to doing things like, I use shower gel that has no perfume in, no fragrance, no colourants. I think it's a Sanex one. And basically it says 0 on the front. So it's hypoallergenic, because even though I don't wash directly down there with shower gel, because you shouldn't, it does run down in the shower. We all know that. That's basically covering all bases, so that when it does go down there, it won't be much, because, you know, it's just running off my body to the bottom of the shower, but making sure that it has no fragrance. So I know that won't be making it any worse. I've also had to move to washing underwear with just water in the washing machine, which isn't great, because obviously you don't get the nice fabric softener smell. It just smells of nothing, obviously, but it's a lot better. That's another thing that used to aggravate me down there, so that's taken that away. And no one's sniffing anyone's knickers to see if they smell of fabric softener anyway. As long as they're clean, that's the main thing. And then I'm going to bring lovely coconut oil into it again, because I actually use this to wash down there, because I found that when I was washing with water down there, it's drying the skin even more, making it even more sore. Oh, it's melted because I've had it in my hand. So that just makes sure you're not losing any moisture in your skin really, and it's just nice and clean, but it also smells nice and without the fragrance added. So that's pretty much it with the Vaginismus series. I'm going to be speaking about OCD next, and I'll be uploading again in a couple of days' time. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and click the bell, whichever way it may be, because my boyfriend told me off last night because I pointed the wrong way. Bye.